So I'm going to take a few questions, but obviously I want to turn this over to Jeremy. It's really important for him. It's a big day for the Boston Bruins and for Jeremy to be celebrating and moving forward, and we're excited that he'll be on the plane today. So I'll take a couple questions and then turn it over.
You've negotiated a lot of big money, several big money deals. Was this the most difficult negotiation you've dealt with?
I mean, Pastas went for a long period of time as well. I think I've been pretty consistent in saying that every deal has its own timeline. There's twists, turns, and such. You'd hope they'd be a straight and narrow path, but it just doesn't always work out that way. And you have to be respectful of and listen. I think that's part of this whole exercise of going through negotiations. You have to be willing to listen to what's important for the other party. And ultimately, our plan was to negotiate a deal, and in a perfect world, we both agreed that the longest deal we could find once we got to common ground was what we were hoping for, and that's where it ended up.
What kind of impact did Monday have with Cam's comments and then Lewis's response?
I mean, Jeremy might comment further, but for me, that's just an indication of both sides would like to find a deal, and ultimately we did. I don't think it necessarily moved things, because we had deadlines anyway. From a standpoint of we wanted Jeremy in our lineup, and he wants to play hockey. Ultimately, he wanted to play for the Boston Bruins, and that's the result. So, we're happy moving forward, and we got some roster stuff we have to do as a result of that. Yesterday, I had some cap space. Today, I don't have as much. So we unfortunately have to make some really hard roster decisions, but that's part of the business too.
How important was it to get it done before 5 o'clock Monday, when the money would go up?
Yeah, I mean, there's an offset. Jeremy's goes down, ours goes up, so it's a good compromise to be in the position we are today. To be perfectly honest with you, and that was what our hope was all along. I think I was pretty honest that the team was being hurt, and he himself not without preparation and such. Now we're fortunate that he does work hard, and he'll be in a good spot, to go in and support Jonas for opening night, and then he and Bob will decide when he feels comfortable. But it won't be for lack of effort on his part in preparation to be as ready as he can be in as soonest point.
Don, if I can drill down on Scott's question a little bit. Cam's comments were around 11:30 on Monday, and by 6 o'clock or so, the representative was put out publicly that the $64 million offer was never made. So can you clear up what is a discrepancy here? Misunderstanding, mischaracterization? What was it?
I just think in the spirit of negotiations, there's a range of things when people are talking, and I think Lewis and I's communication, and he's really good at advocating for his client, and when pushback comes, he's defending his client in that sense. Specifics, albeit in our conversations, are important. In the exterior and the narrative, they're not as important. Just got to make sure you stay in communication and work through some of those sticky points.
I may agree with that or not, but he said specifically the $64 million offer was never made. Do you care to respond to that?
No, not really. Like, I think I have responded to answer your question, and I feel very comfortable in terms of where our communication was all along. As I said, narrative is narrative, and that's all I have.
So you don't expect Jeremy will start on Tuesday then?
No. I mean, game reps are game reps, and preseason is there for a reason. To go through some progressions. But as I said, he works hard. He'll be ready to go, hopefully at the soonest point possible. But he and goalie Bob will have some work to do, and we're excited to have him back in the net. So I will turn it over to Jeremy and officially welcome him back. All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Missed you guys. Before we do get going, I would like to have one thing to say. I had a lot of ties indirectly with Johnny Gaudreau, and I think this is a great platform for me and my family, and obviously this organization, to to send our condolences to that family and Johnny and Matthew, and obviously sharing the same agent with Lewis Gross. Every conversation I had with him ever since I joined their team when I was 16 had something to do with Johnny and just the way that Lewis spoke about him, and all the similarities that him and I had, which is what he would tell me is pretty humbling. So I hope that his family feels the support endlessly from my family, obviously me, and the entire hockey world, and to see the amount of outreach and love that he got is it just goes to show what kind of impact he had in our world and for the game of hockey. So I just really wanted to get that across, and we miss him a lot.
After Monday, did you think this was gonna get done by now? What was your reaction to the comments on Monday from Cam? Did it help this deal get done?
I lost track of days. I didn't know what day it was, so it was a day-by-day thing, and again, it's a negotiation, and I respect the fact that you have to ask these questions. And again, what I'm truly focused on is the future and the here and now, and everything else was a blur in my mind. And all I'm worried about is being in net for the Boston Bruins right now, and I'm overjoyed with it. So I'm really excited about that.
Were you at all concerned about maybe the court of public opinion swinging against you during this period?
It's funny you say that, because I feel an incredible amount of support. I felt an incredible amount of support throughout this entire process, and every day there was calls coming in, and those are the people that truly care about you as an individual, and even when they're not in your shoes, they understand that you're in that spotlight, and to see the amount of people that were just coming out of the woodworks, reaching out to me and my family, just showing support and love. That for me was what mattered most, and to see the outreach of fans and this city just really supporting me throughout this entire process just showed how much it meant to me, or it means to me, to be a Boston Bruin. And that's what was one thing that drove me every day to just stay in the moment, keep my glass half full mentality and a smile on my face, and that's what ultimately brought me to this place.
Jeremy, a couple if I could, there was an ongoing narrative here, and I brought it with Cam on Monday, that you were out to reset the market for goaltenders. Cam said he agreed with that narrative. What's your spin on that?
Again, I respect the fact that you had to ask that question, and to be honest, I'm just so excited to be a Boston Bruin, and the fact that we went through this process and the tools that I learned with it, it's gone now. And all I care about is being a Bruin, and the fact that I could do that for 8 years and instill myself as a leader and as a true member of this city is all I care about right now, and I couldn't be happier.
And also to crystallize that day, you said it's a bit of a blur, so I'll try to crystallize this. For as invested you were in this negotiation, that 7 hours after Cam put the $64 million, made that public, your agent felt compelled to make a statement that was never made. So can you clarify that?
Again, Lewis was incredible in this entire process, and it just goes to show what he would do to really protect me as his client, and sticking his neck out and making sure that everyone knew that some accusations are true and some are false. And it's not my job necessarily right here, right now, to give you that answer. And obviously our party and our team knows the truth, but at the same time, we found an agreement, and the fact that I could be here for 8 years gives me goosebumps saying that, Dupes. It's an incredible feeling, and that's all I care about is moving forward and winning for this organization.
Your number is $2 million above what Cam made public. There seems to be a link between what he was suggesting or saying and where you've landed. Coincidence?
I mean, I'm happy with everything, and again, I couldn't be more excited to be in this position. So you can dissect it all you want, and think about it. But again, what's that going to do? We're here right now. I got a plane to catch in an hour, and that's all I care about, man. I couldn't be more happy. And it's funny when you look at the big picture of things, and 10, 15 years ago, I would never believe that this would be a reality in my world. So the kid from Alaska standing right here in front of you is really happy and beyond pleased to be a Bruin for 8 more years.
Jeremy, how'd you keep yourself ready to play, and how long do you think it'll take before you're ready to get back in goal?
I'm so happy you asked that. I'm a black bear at heart, and through black bear. But I could not have done it without BU and the coaching staff, Jay Pandolfo, Kim Brandebold, and Ken Whittier, and Brian DeCord, and all those boys in that locker room. I was there every day as soon as camp started, and they gave me an oasis to completely escape the outside world. And the amount of happiness and support that they provided for me, and obviously a great training place to keep my game sharp throughout this entire process, I could not have done it without them. So again, even though I'm a black bear through and through, I'm a honorary terrier, because those guys, I really hope they feel the love and appreciation that I have for what they did for me. And again, I have a forever debt to those guys in that locker room, and just allowing me to escape the reality.
Sure. We talked a lot last year about kind of the motivation that came from the arbitration process. Does this process give you some motivation, or does living up to the contract that you just signed give you motivation? How does what you just went through impact your mindset going into now trying to live up to it?
That's a great question. I think the motivation is a Stanley Cup through and through. That's all I care about. And the process that us players have to go through, again, to attain a job, to attain, trust in our staff and our teammates, and obviously the cities that we play for, that's all motivation that gains up. And I can guarantee you that this step in this chapter in my career is going to motivate me above and beyond what I have had before. And again, the end goal is to win a Stanley Cup, and I believe that this is a group that can do it and have shots at it many years. And every year I'm a part of it, I'm going to make sure that's a reality. And so again, I'm just beyond grateful to be in this position.
You've worked with a lot of good goalie guys over the course of your career, Alfie and Goalie Bob. Did you work with Brian DeCord before, and did he, was there anything new that you sort of learned from him?
I haven't gotten on the ice with him except for before the draft, actually. And it was really fun to get little pieces of what he's doing. Obviously, he's had a ton of success with stopping goaltending, and it was really fun to be in his work environment with the BU guys and getting reps out there. But the main thing with him was just taking my game and complimenting it, and so that's what I appreciated that he brought to the table.
Jeremy, was there ever any doubt in your mind that this would get done, that maybe you'd eventually end up somewhere else?
Through the process, there's a lot of demons that can creep in your head. There's a lot of unknowns, and again, what I knew is that my heart was going to be in Boston, and I was going to do everything I could, and my team was going to do everything we could to stay a Bruin for my whole career, and that's going to continue. So that's all. The light was at the end of the tunnel, and we knew that we had tools and reason to stay here. And again, management said or thought the same thing. So that was a really special point where we finally reached an agreement, and we're both on the same boat of wanting to win Stanley Cups.
What's the
Ty,
most,
two more.
what's the most significant piece for you to get ready here for the first real game?
I think just doing what I've been doing, and that's being the hardest worker on the ice every time I possibly can be. And even though I didn't have as much flow drills and obviously game type scenarios lately, that's going to be something that clicks right away. And as players, we all know that it only takes a couple of real good skates to get back into the rhythm of things, and that's our jobs. And so my job is to do exactly that. Is when I start getting reps, I'm going to be game ready. I want to be game ready right away. It's going to be fun teasing. I want to start every game. So I'm excited for that challenge.
So is it not too fine a point? Is that 3 days? Is that 5 days?
That's right now, Dupes. You know that.
Last one.
Jeremy, the last I spoke to you was at the Boston Tri. You said you really enjoy getting to know the city better. What does
Right.
it mean to you to now be in the city for the next 8 years, and what words do you have for the fans?
That's goosebumps right now. It's everything. And again, I couldn't have done this process without the incredible support of the city and the fans, and my incredible family. First and foremost, my dad. He's been there through it all, and it's gonna be pretty special getting to hug him after this. I could just imagine what it's gonna be like. So my amazing agent, obviously, Lewis, and the entire sports professional team, special management team, and my wonderful girlfriend and her entire family. And again, this city is unmatched, and that's why so many players want to play here. And I cannot wait to represent it the right way for 8 more years.